Hello and welcome back to the Movie Memo Recaps. Today we are going to recap a 2017 movie named 24 Hours to Live. Keep alert, spoilers incoming. The movie starts in South Africa with an Interpol convoy led by Agent Lin transporting a prisoner named Keith. Keith is a former mercenary agent who worked with the notorious Red Mountain Agency, which promised him a good life in Africa, but it turned out to be the opposite. The convoy continues to approach the checkpoint of the Namibian-South African border where they stop for checking. Lin suddenly gets suspicious of the situation, and it turns out to be an ambush. The mercenaries open fire at the agents who were unaware, and most of them get killed. Lin manages to find a way out by driving through the shootings and escape with Keith, though she receives minor injuries. The scene jumps to Florida, USA, where Travis Conrad is fishing with his father-in-law named Frank. The two later on move to scatter ashes in the ocean, commemorating the one-year death anniversary of Travis's wife and son. They return home, but Frank is so drunk, and upon reaching inside, Travis informs him that he would be going for a walk. He moves to a bar to get cocaine, but shortly notices some two men who follow him in the washrooms. He tricks them by moving in the women's washrooms and closes the men's washrooms. He mixes up some chemicals and throws inside the washrooms. After the assault, he opens for them, and they inform him that Jim wants to talk to him. He informs them that he is already done with their business, but while moving out he notices Jim over the counter. He approaches him and informs him that he is retired from the business. Travis is a former mercenary agent that worked with Red Mountain Agency with Jim. Jim informs him that Red Mountain wants him back for a certain job, but Travis hesitates that he is done. While leaving, Jim informs him that they are offering him $1 million each day, which prompts him to return. They want him to clean up the botched assassination attempt on Keith and Lin. Travis asks for a double of the offer, which Jim accepts, and brief him on his first target, Keith. Keith is about to testify against Red Mountain, though Jim doesn't disclose to Travis why. He informs him about the failed assassination attempt on him and that he is about to do a deposition with the UN. They show him Lin, who leads his protection team. Travis asks if she has a child, and Jim confirms it, which makes Travis worried, but Jim informs him that Red Mountain is worth $25 billion, meaning he needs to focus. We move to Hong Kong, China, where Lin's son named Christopher video chats with her over Skype and inform him that she would be returning soon. The following day, Travis moves to the apartment of Lin's mom, where he asks about Lin's whereabouts. Suddenly Christopher comes up and informs him that she would be returning tonight. Travis mind plays with him and managed to steal his cell phone, which he uses to track Lin's location. Now in Cape Town, South Africa, Lin is at the airport waiting for her flight. Besides her, Travis is pretending answering a word puzzle. He inquires from her, and she replies him in Chinese, though Travis proves that he knows Chinese as well. When she leaves to board, he texts the headquarters canceling the flight she was to board, hence returning. She informs him the answer to the puzzle, and after a short conversation, Travis asks her out for dinner. While at dinner, Travis manages to seduce her with his sad story of the loss of his wife and son, and the two spend the night together. In the morning, while Lin is taking shower, Travis gets Keith's location from Lin's phone. He thinks about killing her, but suddenly decides to spare her and move out to leave. He calls Jim to give him the location, but Lin got suspicious, hence confronting him. Suddenly they start to shoot at each other, and Lin shoots him twice in the chest. Travis falls down, and while grasping his last breath, he gets a vision of his son and wife and die at last. Later on, he wakes up again in a laboratory where Dr. Helen has brought him back to life using experimental procedures. Jim informs him that Lin killed him and they have got him from the dead. He informs him that the Red Mountain has been developing this procedure for years, though the information is classified. Wetzler, the CEO of Red Mountain, arrives and asks him for the location of Keith, which he gives to them. Wetzler gets impressed about the procedure, but indirectly informs Jim to have Travis killed. Being a friend to Travis, Jim informs him that he would send a doctor to do it quick because the only thing they needed from him was Keith's location. Travis notices a scalpel, and when the doctor arrives to inject him with morphine, he attacks the guard and kills him on the spot. He inquires from Dr. Helen what's happening to him, and she informs him that she designed the procedure, and he has only 24 hours to live. He holds Helen as a hostage to move out of the perimeters. He encounters numerous agents of Red Mountain Agency but manages to dispatch them all. Suddenly he gets a hallucination of his son, and this is one of the side effects of the procedure. He informs Helen that he made a mistake of pardoning a woman, so she shouldn't make him regret not killing her, and leaves. Later on he calls Frank and explains to him about the tough condition he is going through and inform him that he is in South Africa and wouldn't be returning to Florida. After Frank comforts him not to give up, he steals a taxi and a cell phone. Keith is now testifying against Red Mountain Agency, and it is learnt that Keith witnessed over 70 civilian dead bodies who were used in experimental procedures by Red Mountain. Keith informs them that they disposed the bodies and everyone was promised $50,000 to keep the information confidential. Shortly Lynn notices a sniper on the clock tower who turns out to be Jim. He snipes several guards as he tries to get Keith, who instead runs to reach the camera. Jim commands the Red Mountain to assault the building and the fight gets tense as they try to eliminate everyone, but Lynn secures Keith to run out of the building. As most of the Interpol agents get eliminated, Lynn leads Keith outside where Travis arrives to save them. The two get into his car to leave as Lynn informs Travis that Keith has confidential information on Red Mountain that can lead to its closure. The chase continues on the street as one car pursues them on top of shootings. Travis gets close to the mercenaries, which gives Lynn chance to shoot at them, hence their car crashing, and they manage to escape. Shockingly, Keith gets sniped by Jim. Later on at the shores, Keith is in a critical condition, grasping his last breath, though Travis is also worried as he is only left with 16 hours. Suddenly Keith passes away, leaving the memory card with Lynn. At the Red Mountain headquarters, Jim receives the camera, but the memory card is missing, which makes him angry. He receives a call from Wetzler, who tells him to do whatever he has to do to retrieve the memory card or else his own family would be in danger. He orders for the kidnap of Christopher as Travis disposes Keith's body. He informs Lynn to take the deposition Keith left on the memory card, as for him he is doomed and only left with 16 hours to live. Shortly Lynn receives a call from Jim, who requests for Travis and asks him to take back the memory card after informing him that they have Christopher. Travis informs Lynn that Red Mountain has taken Christopher in exchange for the card and inform her that he would help her get him back. While on their way, Travis gets distracted again by the hallucinations of his son Oswell as some of his past missions and wife. Lynn calls him out, and the two head to his old safe house for some weapons. He informs her that he knows the team holding Christopher and collects some explosives and guns. Afterwards they travel to a village where the civilians Red Mountain experimented on lived. Travis meets an old friend soldier who they inform about the people that were experimented on, which was not at his attention. This awakens him about the missing refugees and invite them for a walk. The abduction team is on its way but suddenly meet an accident in their path, hence changing their route. They proceed to move through the local village path where they bump into Travis standing in their path. He offers them around $310,000 in exchange for Christopher, but they decline the offer, thinking they outnumber Travis's men. Suddenly more men move out of their hiding spots and Travis informs them he would be taking Christopher by force if peace fails. Shortly he gets dizzy as the fight opens up between both parties and Travis only looks helplessly. The fight gets tense, but two vehicles manage to pass through, though the second one gets exploded with an RPG. Travis gets back to his senses and calls Lynn to join him so that they pursue the last vehicle, which they possibly think has Christopher. Having distanced them already, Travis takes a shortcut which gives him a lead to bump into the last car. Lynn moves to get Christopher from the car, and while hugging him, Travis gets memories of his son. Lynn invites him to go with them, but he informs her that he has some business to finish and tell her to get the testimony to the authorities. He gets a surviving agent of Red Mountain who he forces to communicate with the base that he has the prisoner. With only a few minutes left on his timer countdown, Travis dedicates his last life to fight the Red Mountain. He arrives at the base and shoots the guards, though Wetzler gets alerted about the situation. He calls Jim, who tries to persuade Travis to give them the memory card over the microphone, but he just ignores him. Wetzler issues an order to all his men to get Travis alive, and if he fails they shoot to kill. Suddenly he drives the car into the building amidst the shootings from various Red Mountain agents. Some men have been sent to finish off Frank, and upon reaching his house they begin the search. They reach the washrooms and shoot it, though Frank surprises them from behind with a shotgun. The agents are still looking for Travis, who stops one vehicle from moving out of the building because it was going to pursue Lynn. He detonates the explosives in the vehicle, which eliminates some of the agents. The agents are now searching for Travis, but knowing how deadly Travis is, Jim decides to have a drink. Wetzler offers his men $1 million for anyone who kills Travis, though Travis is already wiping out most of the agents. The fight gets tense in the building as Travis dispatches most of the agents and assault the office in which Wetzler and Jim were holed up. After clearing all the agents, Wetzler tries to escape, but Travis shoots him in the leg. Wetzler tries to goad him into killing Jim, revealing that he is the one that killed Travis's family. Jim informs him that Red Mountain forced him to do it in an attempt to stop Travis from quitting, or else his own family would be eliminated. Though angered, Travis feels remorse and decides to let Jim live before sitting down in his final minutes of life, where Jim meets him. Lynn gets spared after Jim's command and move ahead to handle the card to the authorities. After comforting Travis, Jim moves to approach Wetzler to kill him, but the police has arrived. They warn him to drop his gun, but instead he shoots and gets himself killed. Travis dies and gets a vision of his family at the beach. Later on, Helen's voice is heard calling him, hence waking up in the lab. She informs him that she has saved him because he spared her Oswell, bringing the movie to the end. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.